How y'all doing? I'm Ray Scarheaded Jones. I want to tell you a story. One that I listened to recently. And it got me thinking. And it's kind of messed up. So I want to share it with you. It was on Mr. Ballin's channel. So there's this guy named Brandon. And, whoa. He would get fucked up every once in a while. And he was with this little redneck girl. Has a crazy name. From one of them towns. It's not important what her name is. They were arguing. He was supposed to go cool off at his parents'. Now, he had been getting high from time to time. So there's that. He calls his brother. And, they got into him asking his brother for some drugs. But, that's not really relevant, other than to say that they did suspect him of drug use. You know what I mean? Because he was high. But then he called his brother in the middle of the night. He's supposed to be going to his mom's. Now, this is on Highway 227 in West Texas, which is, probably desolate. You know what I'm saying? Very desolate out there. So it's way late at night, and he's calling his brother, waking him up, asking him to go get some gas for him because he's running out of gas. He said, there are 3 guys that are chasing me, trying to kill me. Now, this does sound like you're high, buddy. Chill out. You're probably just high. And he kept on and on about this gas thing, so his brother does come out there to get him. Gonna go get him some gas. So he drives out. I don't know where he had to come from. It says San Angelo. So he's somewhere around there. And his brother comes, sees his truck, and goes up to it, starts walking around checking it out. He's not in the truck. Then he sees a policeman coming up, and his cell phone rings. And his brother, somewhere close, can see him and tells him, just run from the cops. Now, he did have a warrant for some drug shit. Cause drugs. And his brother's like, you're an idiot. I'm not running from the cops. The cop comes up and says that they got a 911 call from a trucker saying the car was stranded on the side of the road. So the guy was going to come see that. The brother hung up on him. And so his brother was going to drive up and down the road and see if his brother would get up in the car, which his brother didn't. He never found his brother. His brother never answered the phone again. So he ends up just leaving and going home and telling the cops, I'm going to drive up and see if I can see him. Can I go? So he does. The cop comes in the morning, sees that the truck is still there, so the cop's kind of concerned. Well, the girlfriend, because he never showed back up at home, the girlfriend went to the cops and said, I looked on his call logs, and he called 911. And that's not like him. He'd be really scared to call 911 because he's got a warrant for his freedom. Sorry, let me change this. I'll be that guy. He's got a warrant, okay? So, they look up, and they actually found that there was another 911 call. Somebody called a trucker, but somebody also called, and it was him. And in the thing, you can hear him running, saying these 3 guys are chasing him, and you could hear somebody in the background. And then it disconnects. Nobody found him. They ran a search of the area, and they did a circle around the truck where the truck was. So if he was running around out here in these fucking bushes, It's just like cactuses and dirt, you know, brush. Not really nothing out there. No trees. It's not like a big wilderness. So they didn't find anything for years. And then an independent search went out there years later because they never figured out what happened to this dude. He was just gone. The lady got a private eye, you know, but somebody, just because of the fame of the thing, went to look around and they actually found some clothing. They took the clothing to the police and some shoes. And I don't know how they missed them. Everybody's like, we don't know how we missed this in the search. And they did another search and they found a piece of skull. So the guy was murdered. And it wasn't until like 5 years later that they had found that this guy had been murdered out there in the woods or off the side of the road, you know, probably by these three guys. And he was saying on the 911 call, like, I accidentally hit him. And I don't know if that meant with his truck. I don't know what the meaning of that is because there was no discussion ever from him or in regards to the vehicle that looked like there was a wreck or another person was involved. But if there was three guys somehow out there, maybe he ran into him. I don't know. But it's just such a strange, fucked up story, to hear that this shit had went on. I also just talked to my brother for like an extended period of time. He was at his job getting some food using his card, whatever bank card he has that he gets paid on. Went to go get some food or something, and it told him no. Turns out somebody used some sort of scanner to empty his whole bank account out. And it's going to take him like 2 weeks to get his money back. But, you know, I don't know where that falls into the grand scheme of things. He didn't mention anything else. I was like, "Do you know? Do you know how?" No, he doesn't know. But that's one of the possibilities. That's the problem with being in the city. There's so many high tech ways to get you, and you just don't have to deal with that as much due to the high volumes of people, which I can't stand high volumes of people as it is anyway. So, there's that. And it was just kind of weird to hear that. But that other story was pretty terrifying to know that you could be, you know, um, well, there's nothing different that could have happened. You know, his brother came. It took some cajoling, but his brother did come out there. And for whatever reason, he was out in the field. I'm sure three guys can break your window and pull you out of the car and kill you. It's not really a safe place to hide. If you can't get off into the woods, off away anywhere, and somebody's determined to kill you, uh, they might just do it. You know, who's to say another car comes up? Usually if you're on the side of a road like that, um, during the late hours, there's periods of time when somebody comes through, just like the trucker that saw him and called and let him know there was a motorist in distress. But I mean, you're in serious distress if somebody's trying to murder you while you're on the side of the road in the middle on Highway 227 north of San Angelo. That's not a good place to fucking be at all. That's not. I think we've been on that road before. Him and I went up to Lubbock to work on a job years ago. That's the only time I've ever been that way other than once, which I think I came back through because I went to New Mexico in 2010 or 11. I think 2010 with my parents. They came out here. They picked me up. We went to West Texas. We went to Carlsbad Caverns. That's as far west as I've ever been. We had been to Big Bend and shit probably when I was younger, probably like 15 or something. So uh, we were going probably 20 years after I'd originally ever been out there. It was pretty nice. We went to Roswell, and then we went to um, some other places. The Rock and Roll Museum they have in Lubbock for um, what's the guy? You know the guy that died with or Ricky Valens, um, the other guitar player. I can't think of his name. Donna Sue. I don't know. Can't think of who I'm thinking about. But you probably know. You probably know. On the plane crash where the Big Bopper and all them died. Um, Buddy Holly. Buddy Holly. The Buddy Holly Museum of Rock. That's my story. I just felt bad about that guy because it just seems like such a fucked up way to die. Have a nice day. Please like, share, and subscribe.